Hello everybody, this is Starman and welcome back to Let's Play Skyrim Special Edition. Well, since last time I did a little bit of training off camera, I'm just on the verge of level 16. I spent a fair bit of time selling off my gear here and trained a bit with Balamund, who is the best smithing teacher in the game. Not that you typically need to pay money to increase your smithing skill, but I bought all the gear that I could from him and made as much leather and iron armor as I could and sold it back to him after improving it as best I could to a decent profit. But yes, our goal this time is that we are going to attempt... Yeah, I can see her looking at me. She's curious. But yes, our goal for this chapter is that we are going to break into the meadery and do some business. Yeah, you're judging me now, but actually, let's see if I can ask her about the quest that will win her heart.
It's you. Not here to rob me, are you?
Only if stealing your heart counts. And actually, I think I have to be level 16 to trigger this, now that I think about it.
Just stay away from me and I'll forget we had this discussion.
Alright, well. Now, we did swim past the Goldenglow Estate before, you might recall. And we could fast travel there, but that would drop us right in the middle of the place, and we really don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here to the Merryfair farm instead. Yeah, see, we're just about to hit 16. And yeah, it's 11 in the morning, but storm's coming in. And I believe that is an elk. Well, a quick bit of hunting before we get to work. Well, good omen for the day's work. Although I'm curious why I didn't get a soul charge off of that. Alright, well you see that long ship in the distance? That is where we're heading. But were we to go there directly, we'd wind up at a gate where a bunch of mercenaries would see us instantly. Now, I have a potion of water breathing, but the water is not deep, so we shouldn't need it, and that is the house. But you'll note that the stone here is too steep for us to jump up. At least jump up easily, so we're going to take that sewer entrance that Vex mentioned. Let's see, I think it's a little further down this way. And it's cleared up. But thankfully, here we are. Now, we do need to be careful down here because there are skeevers, you know, the giant rats, but thankfully, we're stealthy enough at this point that we can get the drop on them. So long as we're careful. Case in point. And let me make sure I've got... Ah, well that's why it didn't work. Need to charge up the soul-sucking bow before we can suck souls with it. The thing about skeevers is even if they can't see you, they typically go charging in the direction of one of... They'll go charging in the direction of where you are if you kill a comrade right next to them. And we will boost our health again. As for what skill we increase next, well, I think we'll go ahead and... Now, we got archery pretty well leveled at this point. Now, we could do critical shots. Aren't quite high enough to get steady hand, which... Let's see, arrows stagger up with the largest opponents. I think we will go ahead and take the critical shot. Because even though we're going to be trying to go non-kill on this, except for the rats, increasing our sneak attack damage for when we do need to do it is never a bad thing. Now, I do need to be careful at this point because there are some booby traps in here, as you would expect of a lair of a, respected thief property. But that seems to have tripped that one. Thankfully, the oil trap is distant enough that you can run down the hall to avoid it. Yeah, in that case, we didn't get the chance to trip it because the skeever tripped it running toward us. And no, I have no idea how these rats get gold. Ah. I am rocking it on the lockpicking this time. Guide to better thieving. Well, it didn't help this guy very much. Though apparently he did raid the wine cellar. Alright, well, I think that's everything in here. Didn't mean to kick that, sorry. And, one rat who did not notice the fireball that killed his brethren. They didn't notice that either. That one, on the other hand... And, well, nothing here but bones and shovels. And that appears to be another trap that got disarmed. And here we are. Now, doing this in the middle of the day may seem odd for a thief, but the fact of the matter is attacking the house is a little more risky at night because there's more mercenaries inside the place. Right now they're all patrolling the grounds. So, from what I recall, you actually deal with less resistance going in the middle of the day. Well, we just leveled up our lockpicking, just trying to do this part. Oh, was it jiggering a little bit more this way? I don't think so. Okay, let's try it all the way to the right. Not so much. Okay, a little more to the left that time. Ha! Okay, now we have an optional objective to take the key from the safe, but we don't need to take too many unnecessary risks here. But I will take the cheese and pie. And okay. The instruments. Okay, and a bit of the wine, too. After all, I do need to make some profit on this. Now, this is where it gets tricky, because we've got one guard over there, and our objective is down this way. But we'll go ahead and stop to pick this lock, just because we can. And a little more, a little more. Tricksy one, this. Well, got quite a few potions in here. And more cheese. Okay, now sometimes you can just run into a guard walking around this corner. And a good thing I was careful. Thankfully, the lock leading to the basement is much easier for some reason. You'd think it would have the strongest lock of all, but it doesn't. And there are guards down that way, but thankfully we can avoid them easily enough. And we'll go ahead and take the pelts here, because free leather is free leather, and those are rather massive horns. And yeah, you can tell nobody comes this way much. But there is, in fact, a trap here. There is a guard watching that way.
There?
And he did hear us. And he may wander back over this way, but thankfully it looks like he's running exactly where I needed him to head.
Must be my imagination.
Or
Is someone there?
that's right. Follow the arrow. here's the safe, but let's go ahead and check out this chest first. $16 gold, a paltry sum, but I'm just that good. Alright, well, we have cleaned out the safe. And thankfully, we don't have to sneak back the way we came. Because it just so happens there's a passageway leading back to the sewer. Of course, this bit is just a dead drop right back to the exit we came from originally to get in here. Okay, we had a slight little game glitch there. The first time I've had this game crash on me since I got the new version. I guess it was bound to happen eventually. But anyway, we are back here at the exit we used to get to the back door of the Goldenglow Estate. But we're not going to go back up that way. We are going to walk back around to where we came into the sewers in the first place. Because it will get us a little bit closer to our final destination. Well, not that final destination, but our final destination here. If we come back up at this point. Because let me go ahead and pull up our quest map. Yes, you'll note that the beehives we need to destroy are over here, and we are now at the sewer entrance here, a little bit closer than we were if we were coming back out by the estate. Now, this is important because we have a lot of mercenaries over here that are going to be very unhappy if they spot us. Thankfully, even though it is broad daylight, we do have a means of getting past them. You might remember this from my potion stash earlier. Extended invisibility. So hopefully and well, this is what the quick load is for. So I can't quite run around that way. Okay, potion. Because yes, this bridge is the only way to get across there without jumping around making a visible target of yourself. And for obvious reasons, we want to avoid that. We can hear the buzzing now. Okay, so how do we set these hives on fire? Well, there's a couple of ways, but we're going to go with the fun one. And that got their attention. But we're out of their range now. And just to make this interesting, let's see if we can get close enough to tag this location. Okay. Got another group of bandits there who are now irritated at us, so Robin Hood and Little John are running through the forest, 1,000 trees trying to get away. Alright. Well, I think we are safe enough now that we can go ahead and travel back. But I think we will go ahead and take the fast way back into the Thieves Guild. Oh, the fast way, you say? Yeah, we didn't quite discover that last time. But if we walk around the backside of Mistvale Keep, there is a small cemetery. And if we go to a certain tomb... Thieves Guild, you say? Yep. Secret passage hidden right inside the basement. And got quite a few people standing around down here, but there is our buddy.
Hey, let's talk a second.
Let's talk for a moment.
In a moment. Yes, we do get a chance to talk to everybody here and get to know them, but we'll do that in a moment.
Word on the street is Goldenglow's been hit. Good job, lad.
Yep, and here is what is in the safe.
Let me take a look at what you found. Arengoth sold Goldenglow? What's that idiot thinking? He has no idea the extent of Maven's fury when she's been cut out of a deal. But I'm certain he'll find out. If only the parchment had the buyer's name instead of this odd symbol. Any idea what that might be?
No idea.
Blast. Well, I'll check my sources and speak to Mercer. But for now, you're off to speak to Maven Blackbriar. She asked for you by name.
That can't be good. Yeah, sure, but will I come out of there alive?
If it was like that, she wouldn't be asking for you. She'd be calling on the Dark Brotherhood. It's just business. That's between you and Maven, and I prefer to keep it that way. Don't worry about it. Maven's business dealings usually involve quite a bit of gold for her people.
Or a knife in the back. Speaking of gold...
Of course, your pay. You're smart as a whip lad. Keep
What's a
doing
whip
like
lad?
that, and there's plenty more where that came from. Until next we meet, lad.
Alright. Let's go ahead and talk to everybody else.
You're making waves around here. I like that. If you ever want to talk about anything, you let me know.
Vipper the Fleet. So do you ever earn your name?
It was on a job a few years back. It was supposed to be a simple burglary on a house in Windhelm. I was working with Vex, and we got inside with no trouble. We found the loot and made our way out.
Sounds normal.
Well, it was, up until the point where we set foot outside. The house was surrounded by town guard. The client had ratted us out. Vex just tells me to run. So I did. Half of them went after me, the other half went after her. Are you kidding me? Vex lost them in seconds. Once she steps into the shadows, she vanishes. Me? I ran, and I ran, straight through the gates of Windhelm, and all the way back to Riften.
That's an incredible distance to run.
Vex was waiting for me at the flagon when I came in, drenched in sweat. Everyone just took a look at me and laughed.
Why are they laughing?
Well, I'd forgotten we had our horses tied up just outside of Windhelm. Vex rode hers back and arrived hours before I did. So, that's how I earned the name. Now keep it to yourself.
And we can have him train us to be a better pickpocket.
Come back and see me if you ever need pickpocket training.
Come here a second.
How do you open the guild?
I used to live in Valenwood, working at my father's winery. We made the finest wine to ever cross your lips, I promise you. We were doing well. Plenty of coin, a huge mansion, and I was even betrothed to a lovely young woman.
Why'd you leave that behind?
Because it was dull. Every day was the same boring routine. Working at the winery, social visits with friends, parties with no one I cared about. I just wanted a little excitement. Something dangerous.
Like being a thief.
I hooked up with a guild in Valenwood. I think they called themselves the Silver Crescents. Spent quite a few years doing jobs for them. Made a lot of coin, but I didn't care. I didn't really need it. I was running with them because it fit. Made me feel alive. Well, after a while, my father caught on to what I was doing. He confronted me one night and gave me a choice. Either leave Valenwood, or he'd have me thrown into jail. Gave me a day to say my goodbyes to everyone.
Must have been difficult.
I ended up in Skyrim thanks to a contact I'd made when I was with the Crescents. Good old Delvin. He introduced me to Gallus, and that was it. I've been here ever since. And you know what? Despite what I left behind, I don't regret it one bit. If talking your way out of trouble isn't enough, you could always pick up some training from Delvin, Vex, or Viper. Also, I recommend hitting the training room if you need lockpick practice. Helped me out of a jam more than once.
And of course, he can teach us archery.
Come find me if you need more marksman training.
What do you need?
Probably best not to ask why there's a girl's blue dress and a wooden sword down here. But I got a note here. Rune, I've used every source at my disposal, and I still can't find a trace of your parents. Whoever they are, they completely erase themselves from history. This is quite a feat considering the quality of my sources. If I come up with anything else, I'll be certain to contact you.
I've never seen anyone with skills like yours. I just wanted to let you know that if you need anything, you can talk to me.
Well, how'd you get your unusual name?
My father told me he found me as a young boy in the wreckage of a ship that sank off of the coast near Solitude. All he found in my pocket was a tiny smooth stone inscribed with some sort of strange runes.
And you know what they mean?
No one does. I've even taken the damn thing to the College of Winterhold. I must have spent every last coin I've made with the guild trying to find out what it means.
Maybe you aren't meant to know.
Perhaps. They could be nonsense, inane scribbles done by someone in idle boredom. But if not, if they actually mean something, they might tell me where I'm from, what ship I was on, everything.
So who gave you the name?
Actually, the fisherman who found me, the man I call my father, gave it to me. Thought it was fitting, I suppose. I never changed it because it never felt right to do so.
Well, I'll keep an eye out for
I
anything.
appreciate that.
And, yeah, I think we can go looking for that ship to try and help him find his name. Alright, so let's see. We talked to him, talked to Neroon.
Interest you in some marksman training?
And I thought I saw Sapphire down here.
Hey, good to see you.
And this is the thing I like about the Thieves Guild, is that for all of Njaal's complaints about how they're a bunch of honorless, bastards, it's not true. And most of the people in here, there is a camaraderie of sorts. There is honor among thieves, it turns out. And there she is.
Look, if I was a little harsh before, I just want you to know it's because you were new. Know what I mean?
So tell me your real name?
Look, I don't really know you. I don't even really know anyone here. Why do you care anyway? It's not like we're family. This is a business.
But it is a professional business. Something had to make you this angry.
Look, you want to know about me? All right, I'll tell you. I'll tell you about the time I was a young girl, barely out of her teens, living on a pig farm in the middle of nowhere. Didn't have a coin to spend between our entire family. Ate the same slop we fed our livestock.
Sounds horrible.
Oh wait, it gets much better. How about the fact that our farm was attacked by bandits, and that they killed my entire family, who didn't even brandish a weapon against them? Here's the best part. They took me as a prize and violated me for a fortnight. Tossed me from bandit to bandit like...
Yep, don't have to continue. The Red Sonja
It's
origin,
fine.
we got it.
I had to tell someone, I suppose. Carrying around a weight like that, it hurts after a while. Cuts you inside like a dagger to the heart.
How'd you escape?
Over time, I managed to gain their confidence. Then one night I grabbed a knife, waited until they fell asleep, and cut their throats. I never returned to that pig farm, you know. There's nothing for me there. So that's my sad story. What do you think?
You still never told me your real name.
Maybe one day. Just not today. I hope we bump into each other again.
Well, that's nice and cheerful, all things considered. Here's Mercer.
Don't you have better things to do than disturb me?
At the moment, no.
Want to talk? Go ahead.
But yeah, that is all the thieves hanging around down here, who we hadn't spoken to yet. There's a training room through this way, but it's just lockpicking and archery and, well, the archery stuff and the fighting stuff doesn't really do much.
Hey! I want to talk to you. Now.
Okay.
I joined up with them maybe 10 years ago. Small clan, maybe 20 men. We'd raid villages, rob caravans. But it was always about the killing for them.
Not for you?
Don't get me wrong. The first few years with that clan were some of the best years of my life. All the food I could eat, all the wine I could drink, and all the women I could bed.
Okay, something changed, clearly.
We raided a caravan one spring. I think it was a few wagons with some farmers moving to a new village. They didn't put up much of a fight. All that was left were the women and the children. Then the leader of our clan, Garthek, he ordered us to kill the rest.
Never had to do that before?
No, we usually let them go. I refused to do it, and Garthek ordered the clan to kill me as well. Luckily, I had made some friends with the clan who immediately sided with me. We tore each other to pieces. After it was over, those of us that remained simply went our separate ways.
And Garthek?
I left his head on a pike at the wreckage of the caravan. Never knew what became of the rest of the clan that survived. I suppose they moved on, just like I did.
So, yeah.
Go and pick some fights.
Kind of proves my point. And there's Brynjolf again. But yeah, the thing about the Thieves Guild is that yes, they are crooks, yes, they are criminals, and the lights just went out based on which way I turned my head. That's weird. But yes, the Thieves Guild, they are crooks, but there is a code of honor, as evidenced by the guy who was a bandit who quit it when he was, you know, given the choice between mindless thuggery and non-mindless thuggery. But actually, I think it's based on which way I'm looking down. But yep, got some practice chests here, but I'm not going to make you watch me practice with them. We'll go ahead and close this chapter out, and next time we will go and see what Maven Blackbriar wants from us. We'll see you then.